Central Bank of Nigeria spurs conglomerates on post-COVID-19 economy. Senate seeks amendment of Oil and Gas Content Development Act. And the oil bulls are back in the global market. Welcome to Business Express. We are reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. And I am Benny Adams, your guide. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, has urged industrial conglomerates operating in the country to support efforts aimed at growing the Nigerian economy and returning it to its glory days. The governor also warned that the CBN would not support the importation of items that can be produced in Nigeria because the bank could not spend its foreign exchange reserves on what could not boost the economy and generate jobs for Nigerians. Emefiele, who spoke at the virtual meeting with chief executive officers of conglomerates in Nigeria, said the CBN, in line with President Muhammadu Buhari's desire, was determined to return the Nigerian economy to the period where the manufacturing and agricultural sectors formed the base of the economy. He also pledged the bank's willingness to provide foreign exchange for companies that required such for raw materials and machinery that could not be obtained in Nigeria. The Senate is considering a bill that seeks to amend the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act
to monitor industry spend and promote expansion of the portion that is delivered to Nigerian companies and people,
so that we start having Nigerians playing domineering role.
The Senate urged the Federal Ministry of Finance to stream the import duty and value-added tax waivers granted on medical supplies to apply on essential pharmaceutical drugs. The lawmakers, while lamenting the poor state of electricity supply in the country, sought reversal of the power sector privatization carried out by the last administration for failure to deliver.
Motions is about power sector recovery plan and the impact of COVID-19 pandemic.
I urge the federal government to suspend the planned tariff increase which is scheduled to take effect from 1st July 2020, bearing in mind increased hardship resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic.
The gradual easing of the lockdown has offered a breather to some businesses that were closed for quite a while, with an opportunity for recovery for some. The tales can be better imagined with jobs being threatened as Nigerian employers battle to keep staff. Let's join Muplang Dakwok on surviving COVID-19.
Mary Okuna is a hairstylist operating in Abuja. She had to close shop in compliance with the lockdown directive of the federal government. Now there's an easing of the lockdown, and she says business is gradually picking up, but not without challenges.
It's not like we're working like before, but just to make sure that we maintain a good hygiene, from their hair. A lot of people want their services to be rendered at their convenience, considering the social distancing, or that they don't want to come out and, mingle with the crowd.
We observe that Mary's salon is carrying out the social distancing and the personal protection guidelines, and she says they are having to make other adjustments.
For staff to even come out, transportation have increased because most of them live in satellite towns. Yes, my generator just stopped working, and for me to get the engineer, the person that will fix it, it's not easy because even him too, coming down, it's a big problem for him. In fact, I just contacted him and he said he can't start coming today, maybe till tomorrow. Like before COVID-19, at least we have like 6 staff working here. But now you can see just 2 staff. We can no longer, employ the services of 6 staff.
Customers of hairstyling are also having to adjust while COVID-19 lasts.
Because in a month, usually I'd get my hair done maybe 3 times or so. But now I try to minimize it so I don't expose myself as much outside, maybe to once in a month. I have to make some adjustments.
Today on Business Express, we will be discussing the insurance industry and post-COVID-19 plans as Nigeria continues the process of full reopening of its economy due to the lockdown over the coronavirus. Our guest is Ekerete Olagam Ikon, a business thinker and insurance consultant. You are welcome to Business Express.
Thank you very much, Ben. How are you?
I'm good. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, with the second phase of the gradual easing of lockdown rolling by, what would you say is the contribution of the insurance subsector to the economy since the beginning of COVID-19?
Oh, interesting. The insurance sector has indeed been the one that has kept the economy going, unknown to several Nigerians.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, just before we got into the COVID era, because we all started hearing about this sometime late January into February, that was the time when the insurance sector had renewed a lot of insurance businesses. I mean, a lot of businesses had renewed their policies for the year. And so the insurance industry had taken the risk, already at that time. And taking the risk means that we are saying if things happen in the course of your business, we are there to cushion the effect. We are there to stabilize your business back to normal. And indeed, if I may say, last year, the industry paid over 300 billion naira as claims to businesses and individuals. Yes, there's still a lot more to do. However, without that, a lot of business would have gone under. So into the COVID period, we've had a situation where people that didn't have insurance are now wishing they had insurance. And that's why you begin to hear a lot of discussions going on about what will insurance do. And it's a global discussion. But insurance can't do anything for you if you didn't have an insurance policy in the first place. So in terms of what insurance has done, the industry, to my mind, became the industry of the month of last month, I would say, because that's when the industry came out and announced, that 5,000 health workers and professionals will be covered, and that cover, amounts to about 11 billion naira in all, and so that is what the industry has done, as an industry. Beyond that, the industry has also, through the association of the industry of the insurance companies, set aside 100 million here, and some other sums to be able to support by way of equipment and all of that to the NCDC. So the industry has also said to the customers, by way of different companies operating, that we are ready to give you back some of the money that we took as premium, and some companies have done that. So the industry is there to support what's going on, and these are some of the things that the industry has done.
Okay. COVID-19 has brought a lot of risk factor. We have threats to life. Jobs have been lost. You hear medical and health workers saying, give us life insurance before we can go all out to do the needful. What is your take?
I just mentioned to you that the industry had given life cover to health workers and professionals.
Good.
So who are these health workers that are asking for?
So why do we still have this clamor? How are they utilizing it?
No, what they are clamoring for is that it's not enough. And I've read that somewhere. Because the
what is enough then? What do you term as enough?
Nothing can be enough for anybody's life.
Okay.
That's the truth of the matter. But now the cover that has been given allocates different sums to different professionals in the health sector. So nurses, doctors, midwives, and other workers have different levels of cover. For insurance, it's always the case of it's better for you to have something than have nothing.
Nothing.
All right. So I've heard that the cover is not enough because some cover is saying in terms of death you get 5 million, you get 3 million, you get 2 million, and some people are saying, hey, it should be 20 million, it should be 30 million. But we all have to also understand that this cover that has been provided it doesn't stand on its own. It's a cover that has been provided based on the fact that these people already had group life cover. So it's for this specific, COVID period that this cover has come through, and it's for 1 year.
Okay, let's talk about yes. Businesses. How have businesses been able to leverage on this insurance, particularly at this period?
Like I said earlier, businesses that have had insurance cover will now engage their insurance companies, their insurance brokers, and begin to discuss what can we do in this circumstance. Now, there are things you can do, there are things you can't do right now, because the policy insurance is something that you get. Sometimes we say insurance is something that you get when you don't need it, but when you need it, you can't get it. All right. So you then find out that what business are experiencing now is looking through. Business are still spending time trying to understand what's going on, saying to themselves, where do we stand to lose? Some businesses are losing already. You can see that they're losing already.
Most definitely.
And so you're beginning to look at it and say, what are we likely to lose more? Or how do we change what we are doing to gain in this moment? So a company that was doing, maybe producing garments, is now doing masks, which everybody needs. But you couldn't have been producing food, and you now want to go and produce mask at this time, and so the food business is also the area where we should be most concerned about.
Okay, talking about smaller businesses like that, there's been a lot of cry, insurance this, insurance that, it is expensive, I don't need it. How far have you been able to enlighten Nigerians? What is that? How important is insurance? Let's talk about it, particularly for smaller businesses.
Okay, so this is how it is. The people that actually need insurance are the small businesses and the people that can't afford to replace their assets if they lose it. All right. So the small businesses, like you said, do indeed need insurance. You see, in this country, when people are planning to start their businesses, the first thing that comes to their mind is open a bank account.
Sure.
All right. And then the next thing is, how do I get customers? And they just start business. It is when the risk happens that they now begin to wonder, how do we go from there? But like we always say in Nigeria, in other climes, insurance is on the list of the things that you ought to do before you open shop, or even as you're opening shop. You have to consider it, because risk will come. When they come, how do you respond? So small businesses need insurance, and I've looked through the MSME policy, and I was surprised that insurance was not mentioned as a need for Yeah, I'm telling you, it was not mentioned as a need. Wow. So if it's not mentioned as a need in that policy, you know, what do you expect?
Okay, then in that case, what is the industry doing to reduce concerns and losses?
The industry, you mean insurance, doing to reduce the
general concerns?
The thing there is that you first of all have to be informed. But you know how we are. When we are trying to tell you, oh, don't worry, I don't need it, because you think that the insurance person is just there to take your money, so you don't need it. Oh, nothing will happen. Oh, by the grace of God, nothing will happen. It's not my portion and all of that. But when it happens, and you remember what that insurance person told you, at that point you can't get it. So I will tell you something. Most people that you see do insurance are people that have had one bad experience or the other.
Wow, so they're learning from their mistakes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, in that case, what do we expect regulators to do in deepening trust, particularly at this time?
Good. The regulator, to my mind, has got a lot of work to do. And I think they understand what they need to do. But I always say it's not the issue of recapitalization.
Okay.
You know, the things that need to be done for the insuring public really needs to come from the operators. You know, now the operators need to change a lot of things about what they are doing. Okay. For example, if people are asking for products that have to do with credit in Nigeria, and we can't provide that because we say that the issue of trust is there. So the risk bearer, who should put a system in place to ensure that people can do business, give themselves credit, you know, and then protect that process, does not trust that the person is going to give cover to will come true. It's not even trusting the information that you have provided. So there's got to be a way of finding out these things. Now, the interesting thing is that I can press my phone today and get loan from a bank.
Sure.
So, what happened? It means that they have been able to use, whether it's technology, identity management, and all of that, to deal with that issue of trust.
So that can also be applied in the insurance sector.
Precisely.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ekerete Olagam Ekong, for sharing your thoughts with us. I feel there is so much to talk about insurance. We will get to continue some other time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for finding your time to be here.
I appreciate it.
Well, moving on, this is Business Express reaching you from Abuja. The program continues after this break.
Let me assure Nigerians that all COVID-19 intervention funds are safe in the Treasury single account, and that government is still open to donations in this regard. Government has opened special accounts with 5 commercial banks which are directly linked to the Treasury single account. Donated funds are safe in the Central Bank of Nigeria. For verifiable information about the funds and other financial obligations of the federal government, please contact us directly at the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. The account details for the donations are as follows.
The pump price of fuel in Nigeria is likely to change as oil prices begin to head towards the $40 per barrel, following countries' eased lockdown measures, showing signs of gradual recovery in demand, supported by ongoing output cuts effective May. Brent crude hit $35.34 per barrel on Tuesday. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was up 7.44% to hit $31.62 a barrel, the highest in 9 weeks or since March 16. Nigeria's Bonny Light rose by 10.68% to hit $29.84 per barrel. Administrator of the National Energy Administration of China, Zhang Jianhu, and delegation of Chinese officials have met with OPEC Secretary General Mohammad Sanusi Barkindo and an OPEC delegation for a milestone discussion via webinar. The meeting reached a consensus on the importance of energy security and maintaining stability in the energy markets, strengthening collaborative between OPEC and China, as well as supporting and promoting the unique importance of multilateralism and globalization. Zhang stated the webinar meeting comes at a crucial time when the world is in the throes of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, he said China is ready on the road to recovery. He added that strong collaboration is not only essential for the interest of both, but also for the global economy. Commodities remain solid, buoyed by increasing demand. Let's see price of oil and other commodities. Stocks this Wednesday sustained bullish run, weighing off coronavirus concerns. The all-share index added 1.03% to close at 24,452.23 points. Market capitalization also rose to 12.743 trillion naira. 436.8 million equities worth 5.4 billion naira traded in 5,195 deals. Zenith Bank, Access Bank, together with Guinness, led activities at the close of trade. Global stocks picking up as economies open amidst COVID-19 fears. Bosedi Ebel takes it up from here.
Most African stocks indicated a positive open in early trading of 20th May, with Namibia's overall index, Tunisia's Tunidex, South Africa's JSA Africa Top 40 and Nairobi's all-share posting gains, while Ghana's GSA Composite depreciated by 0.2%. European stocks slipped into negative territory as investor sentiment weakened over the latest coronavirus development. CAC 40 dropped 0.63%, FTSE 100 0.05% and DAX 0.03%. Stocks in Asia were mixed as China's benchmark lending rate was left unchanged. Nikkei rose 0.79% to close at 20,595.15. Shanghai Composite 0.51% lower at 2,883.74 and the Hang Seng Index 0.05% as of its final hour of trading. U.S. stock futures pointed to solid gains in early trading, following a weak session that snapped a three-day winning streak for markets. Dow Jones Industrial Average implied an opening gain of more than 390 points. The futures on the S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite also pointed to a positive open.
How is the Naira faring alongside other major currencies? Let's see. With that, we come to the end of this edition of Business Express. We value your feedback, so keep the comments, observations, and suggestions coming. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on the NTA's channel. You can also communicate with us on Twitter, and the handle is NTA News Now. Don't forget to use the hashtag #ItBizX. Remember to always wash your hands with soap under running water as the world battles COVID-19. Business Express returns Friday. I am Benny Adams saying stay safe.